Hello, everybody. This is Gynarchic Awakening. I would like to ask for a basic favor. Because I likely will be living in a totalitarian regime soon, and I have views that are not popular, and I doubt anyone would come to my rescue if it would happen. The only advantages I have are that my family are actually Trump supporters, believe it or not. Especially my one of my parents. And so if they did anything, it would basically drive him into a psychotic rage. So if they're stupid enough to come after me, they'll pay the price because the members of my family happen to be very violent and protective. So there's that. There's also the fact that I live in California, one of the bluest states in the union, so I do have a lot more protection than other people are going to have, and I would like to extend my condolences to the people who are living in the reddest states in the union. It's going to be ugly, and I'm so sorry if you can't get out, if you don't have any money. But this is a precaution in case they try to come after me or they try to take my videos down. I would just like it, and if it's at all possible for how to sympathize, if you could just archive these videos and then save them in case somebody does something, because all I have is a phone. I don't really know how to do it, and if they wanted to, they could just seize my phone. So it really wouldn't really serve any purposes if they did that. But if you could just save those, archive them, keep them for the international Gynarchy community, that'd be better. And actually, I have two videos to make today. One is going to be on Gynarchic research, and the second is going to be on the need for the international Gynarchy community, like why it can't be local. So if you could just please archive these videos, I would really appreciate it, because then I know that the message and the thoughts behind the message will go on to the other people in the community, even if I personally can't go on. Because I said before, I'm going to keep going, but I have no illusions about what could happen. So, I don't put anything past anybody. I don't put anything past this population, the American electorate. That's just the way that's it is what it is. Okay, so today's video is going to be one that I've been looking forward to for a while. It's called, the title should be, "What kind of Gynarchic research would help the growth of the Gynarchy community?" So I'm going to be reading off of this because this is actually very in-depth for me. I usually go off the cuff, but I can't in this case because I need to be super specific. So the first thing is, what information or knowledge are we not in possession of? If we don't know what we don't know, that right there is a major problem for all of us. And then the next question is, what do we want to know? What exactly do we want to know that will benefit us as a community, as individuals? What are we what it's really, I think, related to what we're looking for. The next thing is, what do we need to know? Like, what are the things we need to know about the world around us, about other people? What is critical? Like, what isn't just a want? What is what information is critical to our survival as a people internationally? And of course, that follows with what specific information could be useful. How can we use this stuff? Like, okay, great, we have it. How can we use this? How can we use it to build ourselves up? And of course, is there any information that can be conveyed effectively with minimal effort? I think that's self-explanatory. So I want to give you some examples of it, so it's not just like an intangible, because I actually do plan on conducting Gynarchic research at my local college. I plan on doing more of it, but this is a start. And so these are the kinds of research I believe need to be conducted. A, finding out which libraries are willing to buy Gynarchic material. For instance, a person at a group called Gynarchism on Reddit was able to get their local library to buy Viola Voltaire's books regarding Gynarchy. Finding out which libraries can do this, just like not just one, but going after all, like emailing all of them. I heard it was done by email. I don't know if you can do this in person, but having contact with your local library and finding out who and who isn't willing to bring in Gynarchic material would be great, because then we could spread the philosophy, not just in the libraries in the United States, but the libraries essentially around the planet. So wherever your country is, wherever it's at, spreading that information far and wide. And then the next research is finding out how many libraries have material on matriarchal societies. In other words, knowing what isn't there is as important as knowing what is. So if they don't have any information, like if there's no textbooks or whatever on Masu or what have you, or the other established societies or the ones from the past, the question then, of course, is figuring out why that is and seeing if you can do anything about it. So when I mean Gynarchic material, I mean people who specifically are communicating ideals related to Gynarchy. Whereas matriarchy and matriarchal societies, they actually have a past. There's actually there's something there. It's actually in progress, in existence. Whereas sometimes when we talk about Gynarchy, we're talking about something that could be idealized, something that we are trying to build towards, or people could be using the terms interchangeably. I've found that sometimes people think that they mean the same thing, and other times people distinguish between these languages. There's even people who don't even like using the word Gynarchy. But that's actually another video that concerns the lexicon of Gynarchy, and I do have some criticisms about it as well. So, is there a book solely dedicated to exploring all, if not most, matriarchal societies, past and present, that people can pick up at a local library? I think this is important. I think it's critical because, to my knowledge, I have never found such a book that has been widely circulated. And I'm talking about like a compilation book, not just where you look up one society or the other, but where you have all of the matriarchal societies, past and present, kind of put together in one kind of book, where you present the information, you put it in libraries or stores. I don't know if such a book exists. I have seen certain things, but I don't know if there's something that comprehensive. So, and the reason why I don't is I've done cursory searches. I've seen this stuff. If there is such a book dedicated to it, great. If not, you can market it. And if it needs to be created, somebody can do that too. I'm sure somebody at an academical, maybe an anthropologist, somebody who's really done their due diligence, has thoroughly studied the subject and knows exactly past and present, all their cultures, all their customs, everything, and then putting that together to give to people. I can't be sure because I've looked it up before, but I do not think that such a book exists. But I could be wrong. And the next thing is finding out where the Gynarchic hotspots are. This is actually, I do need to take a little bit of a detour here. I'm inventing terms and language for the purpose of not only communication, but for community building. So I'm literally inventing. This is a new thing. I'm inventing this. I'm making it up in order to help build the community, in order to give people a way to think about something, to call something. Because, I should just say it. I'm not going to make a whole video about it, but the problem with Gynarchic lexicon is it's too relationship focused. And it's not community focused enough. And so by creating more lexicon for the community to use, we can create the means by which to communicate and have a better bond or cohesion with our in-person community. So for the purpose of I'm back to reading now. For the purpose of simplistic communication, I am defining a Gynarchic hotspot as a geographic area, perhaps a county, city, or public place like a college, where the majority of people are either receptive, accepting, or tolerant of Gynarchic views. This can be accomplished in a number of ways. You can wear a "The Future is Female" t-shirt in a public area to see if anyone reacts to it. Pay attention to looks of disapproval, anger, or disgust. If you wish to obtain the information more covertly, devise polling questions for students. Claim that you're doing it for research purposes, and they'll buy it. So a few questions that should prove useful are these. This is just to get you thinking about it. So do you think women should be running businesses, governments, and communities? Should there be more women in government? And then, do you know what an FLR is? If so, what's your opinion on it? Pay close attention to the body language and the tone of voice of the people being asked these questions. Like, pay attention to their responses. Are they uncomfortable? Are they calm? Are they indifferent? Are they interested in your question? Are they excited? If the answers they give are positive, if they seem curious or even indifferent, and the majority of people polled repeatedly over the course of a few weeks respond in this fashion, and you've experienced no violence directed towards you, or very little, if any, you have found yourself a Gynarchic hotspot. The purposes of locating one are to provide areas where the degree of safety for Gynarchists and other gynocentric people is higher, to find places where we are safe to conduct research, to locate where we can spread our ideas without being attacked or killed, to develop stronger networks with people in our community, etc. All these hotspots should be posted in a website for Gynarchists to access. Now, I would like to say that I'm in a position now where I feel like I have nothing left to lose. So I am planning within the next few months to go to my local college and perform at least a 4-week research period where I investigate them from two ways. First, by degree. I want to see which degrees. I want to see, I'll do a general one. So actually, I might have to separate it into 2 months. And it might have to take place during a different semester. But the first one I'm going to do is a general asking. Like, I'll just ask men and women at random how they feel about it, what they think. At random. And I'll have to have a family member with me for safety purposes. This is actually another thing I'd advise you to do, is don't do this by yourself. The more people you have with you, the better off you're going to be. So if you have a family member with you, if you have somebody who can back you up, then you'll do a lot better than if you're by yourself. So just have my advice, have somebody with you, so that it will discourage violent behavior and outbursts as much as possible. But if you want the most accurate data, you need to, my advice is, if you can find a big submissive man who's like 6 feet tall or whatever that no one wants to mess with, he could also do this too. If I can't find people who are willing to go with me, I will go it alone. This is something that I can do in that part, but I also want to conduct research by way of degree, and I'll have to wait for another semester because you have new people enrolling every year. Essentially, what I want to find out is I want to locate which majors are more likely to be gynocentric. For example, political science majors, math majors, science majors. Like, how many? I want to find out. Anthropology major, whatever. Who are these people? Like, which majors are more likely to have gynocentric people attracted towards them? Like, if these people are gynocentric or they have gynocentric, where are they going? Like, what fields are they coming into? Are they into nursing? Are they into health? Or communications? Like, where are these people heading? Who are them? Who are they? And I think having more information on who they are will let us know who we can talk to. So there's that. Another Gynarchic research project is to explore which words of our lexicon people are receptive to and which are not. The video is going to go over 15 minutes, so I apologize. Sometimes people will judge you based on a first impression and won't give you my own language. I can't even read my own text. Okay, won't give your ideas a chance until they really get to know you as a person. Knowing which words will help the least and the ones that they'll be most tolerant and accepting of can greatly benefit Gynarchists. Knowing what we don't know will get us much farther. The final one that I could think of is research on which members of the military and police force are gynocentric. Now, this is important, and I want to make this very clear to the people in the military and whatever. I just want to find people who we can feel safe with during the collapse of civilization. This is why I make these videos. This is not the only reason, but this is one of the primary reasons, because I'm trying to look out for my people. And what I see is, I see a lot of fuckery. I see a lot of weird stuff that detracts away from their safety, and it's not okay. Somebody needs to put this out there. We need to do the research, because it's great when you have a partner, but not everybody's built to defend themselves. Not everybody can pull a trigger and take a human life. But if these people are working in these fields, they are required to use force to either get a suspect or to comply or to kill an enemy. Uh, Having and developing these bonds and connections is important, because when civilization collapses, having people in the military and law enforcement who you can trust on, who you're friends with, and because I believe what George Carlin said, that the police, the rest, they'll be looking out for their own. So if we can connect ourselves with those people in that community who are gynocentric, who, when they take on the job, they're actually trying to protect women and girls, and that's just the means by which they do it. So whether they're in that particular part or another, having that connection right there is really important, and developing those bonds are important. And being upfront about it is also important, saying, look, you could just say it like this. Say, look, I just want to be honest with you, man. I ask you because I'm afraid, because I don't have training. I don't have martial arts. I don't have all this other stuff. I don't even have basic survival skills. And I keep hearing from climate scientists that our civilizations can collapse. I would feel safer being around you, and I'd be able to feel safer if we were in groups. Just be honest. Don't be a bullshitter. Just say the truth. And I can promise you that people will sympathize with it if you're direct about it. If you come at them sideways, you could get some mixed reaction. You get people who would understand, they might feel hurt. Just being honest and saying, look, we need your help to survive this. We need you here, and I hope that we can help you with something. So again, we do kind of have to lean a little bit on mutually beneficial relationships, and we need allies within these structures. There's actually another reason why we need to know which members of a police or military force of any nation are like us, because if we have other people, if in the military who are planning to do or in the police force who are planning to do something covert, they're not going to say it on their scanners or whatever. Like if there's some kind of violent attempt to attack the population, or to do something else fucked up, or to carry out some kind of illegal order. In other words, if these organizations get infiltrated by extremists, having people within those organizations who are aware of what's taking place can give us a bit of forewarning, so that we can protect ourselves and find places of safety to evacuate to before they do whatever they're going to do. Because as things get closer to a collapse, people actually will become more and more unhinged. And the reason is because there's at least half of the population that is extremely power obsessed and money hungry obsessed. And when they start to see their control of their own civilization slipping through their fingers, they're going to start looking for scapegoats and blaming other people. They're going to start attacking others. And we'll be in a very bad position if we don't have people who can give us a little bit of forewarning as to their psychological state and what they might be organizing. Because they could do some crazy shit, like, if you've ever heard about the sacrifices to the volcano gods, right? If these people think that God is punishing them for the sinfulness of society, then they may offer us or other people who are ungodly or whatever up as sacrifices to please the God and to stay off his wrath. If you think human beings are not capable of these kinds of desperate, fucked up measures, then you need to please study a history book and study the psychology of these individuals, of people who are in cults, particularly cults that have a extreme religious bent to them, beyond the norm, beyond what is healthy. So there's that. I apologize if any obvious research was missed. I have been getting about 5 hours of sleep a night. I'm probably developing insomnia. I don't know, but this has been going on for weeks. I'm not eating well. Sometimes I struggle just to eat a meal in the morning. I've had a loss of appetite. There's been a lot that's happened after the November 5th election. I want to ask one last question. So, what kinds of Gynarchic research would you like to see conducted? Like, what do you think? What kind of research do you think our community needs in order to grow and develop? Like, what would you like to know? Thank you for your time and have a great day. Please take care, everyone out there. Thank you.